All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that honestly a lot of people overlook until it's way, way too late. A hot battery terminal. I know, it sounds simple, right? But the physics behind why it happens and how terrifyingly fast it can lead to a fire, well, that's a critical piece of safety knowledge we all need to have.
And that right there, that's the heart of the matter. We're not just talking about a little bit of wasted energy or things getting a bit toasty. We're talking about a highly focused point of failure that can escalate silently and, yeah, catastrophically.
Now, you've probably heard the usual advice, right? It's a loose connection, or just use thicker cables, or make sure you tighten your lugs. And look, that advice isn't wrong, but it is dangerously incomplete. The hidden truth is so much deeper. It's about microscopic resistance you can't even see, and it's about a dangerous feedback loop that attacks the connection itself long before that big, expensive cable ever shows a single sign of stress.
So let's approach this like a forensic investigation. Let's put on our detective hats. The overheated terminal, that's our crime scene. The heat is the obvious evidence left behind. But what was the actual cause of the crime? What was the weapon?
And that is the key insight. You might look at a melted terminal and think, should have used the thicker wire. But that's not it. What you're actually seeing is the result of a chain reaction, a cascade of failures that starts at a level you can't even see, and it's happening every single time you put your system under a heavy load. To really crack this case, we have to uncover the weapon. And that weapon is found in the fundamental, unavoidable physics of electricity and heat.
It all kicks off with this simple concept, resistive heating. And this is just a basic law of nature. Every single time you push an electric current through a conductor, any wire, any connection, any metal at all, it generates heat. There's no escaping it. It's just what happens.
And this formula right here, this is the unforgiving rule that governs this whole process. The heat, which is P, equals the current, I, squared, times the resistance, R. And I'm telling you, that tiny little squared symbol, that is the supervillain of our story. It's what turns a small problem into a massive one incredibly fast. This chart just lays it all out, plain as day. If you double the current, you don't just get double the heat. No way, you get 4 times the heat. You triple the current, you're looking at 9 times the heat. The heat doesn't just climb, it explodes exponentially. And that's exactly why a system can seem totally fine one minute and be dangerously, catastrophically hot the next. So the most crucial point to get here is this. When you have too much resistance at a connection, your power system isn't just getting a little less efficient. It is actively turning that specific spot, your battery terminal, into a dedicated heating element. Yeah, just like the glowing coil inside a toaster.
Okay, so now we see how the heat is generated, but how does it get so out of control? Well, that initial heat isn't just a one-time thing. It's the first domino to fall in a self-perpetuating cycle of destruction.
And this illustrates that feedback loop perfectly. It's a vicious cycle. High current hits a point of resistance, and that creates heat. But, and here's the trap, that heat actually increases the electrical resistance of the connection. So now you have higher resistance, which, thanks to our I²R rule, generates even more heat. That new, more intense heat raises the resistance again, and the cycle just keeps feeding itself, accelerating faster and faster into what we call thermal runaway. This brings us to the single most important takeaway from all this physics. Your big, heavy-duty, expensive cable might be perfectly fine. The thermal runaway, the fire starter, is concentrated at the weakest link in the entire electrical chain, the connection point itself. That is where the failure begins, every time.
So, if the connection is ground zero, where exactly are these hidden resistors? Let's pinpoint the exact mechanical spots where this failure is born.
See, the resistance isn't in just one single place. It's the sum of tiny imperfections at multiple points. We're talking about the spot where the metal lug actually touches the terminal, the quality of the crimp that's holding the wire inside that lug, and, yep, even the surface of the battery post itself. Each one adds a tiny bit of resistance that contributes to the fire.
And this is so important. Using a cheap tool or just having a bad crimping technique doesn't just make for a weak mechanical connection, it literally creates a point of high electrical resistance that is completely invisible to the naked eye, just sitting there silently, waiting to generate incredible heat under load. Think of your terminals and lugs as superhighways for electricity. A poor connection creates a massive traffic jam, a bottleneck. All that electrical energy gets backed up, and it has to go somewhere, so it turns into heat.
That bottleneck becomes a heater, and eventually that heater becomes the point where the entire system fails.
So we followed the physics from a microscopic imperfection all the way to a concentrated heater. Now, let's look at the final stage, when that heat crosses the boundary from a problem into a genuine, catastrophic risk.
The heat isn't just sitting there, it's actively degrading everything around it. It's softening and melting the wire's insulation. The metal lug itself is expanding from the heat, which loosens the very connection that needs to be tight. The heat also accelerates oxidation on the metal surfaces, which permanently increases resistance, locking in that failure loop for good.
And this is where it gets truly dangerous. A loose, glowing hot connection can lead to electrical arcing. The heat can become so intense it actually melts the metal lugs and terminals themselves. And once that insulation melts away, there is nothing to stop a fire from propagating right down the length of the cable.
This is why getting this stuff right is not just about performance or efficiency. Choosing the right cable, using a quality lug, and making a perfect, solid crimp are not optional details. They are a fundamental part of your system's safety boundary. They're the firewall.
So let's bring it all together. An undersized cable or a poor connection isn't just a weak link. It literally creates a tiny, uncontrolled heat engine right where you least want it, bolted directly to your battery. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Is your system truly stable and safe? Or, with every cycle, is that hidden feedback loop of resistance and heat silently degrading it, 1 amp at a time?